Okay, in this video, I'm gonna address really bad show rates and how you can immediately increase the show rate for your sales calls and your sales team so you can make more money. Hey, my name is Taylor. We here at Sales Machine, we document all of our business practices for scaling and growing companies. We give them to you for free. So let me jump into this video, and if you want this resource, I have a copy of this document I'm gonna show you. So you have a playbook, a game plan to work with your sales team and to get your show rates up if you're having an issue with show rates. So let me just show you. So the KPI for a first call show rate, okay? So, because you might have a different sales process or marketing process for generating leads. So some of this can vary. But if you're doing cold traffic and they're getting to the first sales appointment, they've booked an inbound appointment, a good healthy show rate should be 60 to 85%, okay? So if you're below 60%, you definitely have some room to grow where you wanna have a better show rate. But if you're in that range, you might be doing okay. But of course, if you're not doing these things, you're just gonna make it that much better and you'll be able to make that much more money. So I wanna talk through, well, what causes a low show rate to begin with? Why is nobody showing up to the calls? No one's coming. You know, they're all canceling or they're ghosting. Here's some different possible reasons why you have low show rate. Number one would be a low lead quality. Okay, if your leads are not, like, they haven't gone through a lot of marketing material or a lot of content, they haven't gotten a lot of brand awareness and certainty around your brand and your organization, the trust factor is gonna be low, in which case they're not gonna show to the sales call that they booked. It also could be an issue when I say lead quality. It could be they're not financially qualified, and so maybe they booked this call, but they're like broke or in a part of the market that's just doesn't have money for the type of solution you have. Number two is pretty obvious. You have a lack of automated reminders. Look, whatever calendar service you're using, whether it's Calendly, Acuity, OneHub, please put the reminders in there. We live in a busy world. I need reminders. My calendar dictates my life. So if your calls, when they get booked, if they don't sync with the person's calendar, if they don't send an email reminder and a text reminder, like, you could be shooting yourself in the foot. Next would be lack of appointment confirmations. Your sales reps are just simply not confirming the appointments like they should the day before or the morning of. Another one could be bad reviews. So after the prospects, they book into your calendar and then they start doing some research. They start looking at your company and they start seeing the reviews. And they're like, whoa, so-and-so said they couldn't get their money back and like asked for a refund and like, so, you know, this person had a bad experience. Okay, well, if you have bad reviews, it makes sense why people book and then they go research you and they're not coming. The next could be too much sales resistance. And what do I mean by this? Your marketing videos, let's say you have a video, right? And you're like, so if that's you and you want to book a call with our team, you can book on our sales team's calendar. We have a conversation. We want to make sure you're the right fit for us. And what we'll do is in that call, we'll tell you our different pricing options. And we just ask that you're able to make a decision. Don't book the call if you don't think you can make a financial decision on the phone. It's like, whoa, you're putting way too much pressure, or you're putting assumptive language like this is going to happen. You know, this is what we'll do. You don't want to act like you're going to sell them. The last piece could be your booking window's too long. I've noticed in B2C, when the booking window, a person can book out more than 2 days in the future, they don't show. The show rates go down. B2B, 3 to 4 days out in the future, show rates go down. So you want to make sure your booking window is compressed, and you have to play with that based on your sales team's availability, how many reps you have, and what your lead flow looks like. But you want to make sure there's ample availability, because if you don't have ample availability, then you're not going to get people booking a call because they don't see a time that they like. And so they're picking times because they're there, but they actually don't like those times. Next could be a lack of warm-up content, which simply means they book, and then what do you send them to build more trust, more certainty, more testimonials, more social proof, more content that is going to prep or give value for the conversation you're about to have. Not having those pieces of content in place can also make your show rates low. So let's go into the solutions. You can increase lead quality. What do I mean by lead quality? You can add an application, or you can add additional fields of information. You can put conditional logic in there. If you think about it, let's say that if the lead quality is low, if you run an ad and you're like, hey, name email for amazing thing. Oh, cool. To see the amazing thing, just book a call on our calendar. Okay. And then they book, but they're like, why did I just book this call? Like, what is this for? And it's because you didn't supply enough friction for the lead to have enough intent to want to purchase. Because they have to be brand aware, product aware, and then problem and solution aware. So if they haven't gone through those levels of awareness prior to your sales process, that's why they could not be showing up to your calls. And so you might need to add more forms of friction. Maybe the video they watch before they book needs to be a bit longer. Maybe you need to add an application after they watch the video. Maybe you need to put a timer where the application doesn't even show unless they watch 7 minutes of the video. Maybe in the application you add conditional logic where they answer certain questions and you score those questions, and if they score too low, they can't even see the calendar. These are all different forms of friction that increase the lead quality. Granted, it will make it more expensive. But at the end of the day, you need to be tracking what's my cost per showed call versus my cost per call. Because you can get a cheap cost per call, but if your show rate's 40%, does that help you? No. So you want, what's your cost per showed call? You could also, I put in here, like you have a low barrier product. So you could have people become a buyer lead before booking into the calendar, because a buyer lead is gonna have more of that brand and product trust with you. And as long as that product doesn't solve the problem entirely, it just solves part of the problem and gives them more content to consume to give value, then that's gonna help you out. Let's go into these automated reminders. So you wanna make sure you have both text and email. You only want 1 to 2 texts and you only want 1 to 2 emails. I have noticed, because I used to think the more the merrier. When you put too many texts, emails, they're getting all these messages, people literally start to get pissed off. Now, are there ways around that and being like, hey, sorry, it's just we really care? But most of the time it triggers too much sales resistance, and now they're like, wow, they're really trying to get me here. They're probably gonna try and sell me something super hard. Maybe I won't show up. Makes sense, right? So make sure you don't throw in too many, because then you're just gonna hurt the show rate again. Okay, confirming appointments. You have to have your sales team trained to triage booked calls, okay? And it just needs to be 2 to 5 minutes. I'm gonna show you what a triaging call means. And this is what it means. It means the prospect books into the calendar for tomorrow. The sales rep who has the call is gonna dial the number. So they're gonna outbound the person, right? The day before. They pick up. This is how the conversation should go. Okay, and let's use an industry, an agency, B2B, and you sell marketing services. Ring, 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 they pick up. Hello, who's this? Oh, hi, is this Taylor? Yeah, this is Taylor, who's this? Oh, yeah, this is just Bob. I noticed you booked on my calendar, it looks like for tomorrow at 3 o'clock to see about possible help with scaling your guys' e-com store. Oh, yeah. Cool, well, Bob, I only had a couple of minutes. What I wanted to do is just ask you a couple of brief questions. That way I'm prepared and we can get the most out of your call tomorrow with us. Would that help you though? Oh yeah, that would totally help. So you guys see how I'm being neutral, I'm acting confused. And then what is gonna happen is whatever your guys' situation or fact-finding questions are to qualify your people, I'd ask those. So for example, in this marketing space, if this business can't help a Shopify store that's doing less than 30K a month, then that's one of the questions. Cool, so tell me about your guys' Shopify store. What's the primary product you sell? Oh, we sell sandals. They're this really cool sandal. Got it. Okay, got it. And just so I can understand where you guys are at in terms of business size, last month, what was your guys' like top line in sales? Oh yeah, we did 20,000. Okay, is that typically where you guys are every month? Yeah, we're still really small and we just started out. Aha, see, now I can disqualify this person, take them off the calendar, let that space open up, and now the right prospect can book into the calendar. So that's one scenario. The other scenario is you ask those questions, they're qualified and confirmed, and having the human touch point increases the show rate. So the number of human touch points you can create, it's always gonna increase the show rates. Think of it this way, it sounds really stupid. If you ask your boyfriend to go on a date, are they gonna show? Well, of course, because you've built so much relationship, you've had so many interactions. So the more human interactions and touch points you have, the more likely and obligated and the reciprocity a person feels to show up. But next, what you can do is create some intrigue and a hook that makes them feel obligated and want. They should have a desire to come to the call, not to be sold, but to get more value. So let's say I ask my qualifying questions, everything checks out. Cool, man. Well, it looks like I've got everything I need. In fact, you guys, since you guys sell sandals, and you've been doing it with like user generated content, we actually have some interesting insights that I'd be able to show you tomorrow on the call that might help with your guys's acquisition cost even more. So make sure you remind me tomorrow to discuss that point with you. Would that be fair? Oh yeah, totally, I can do that. All right, awesome. And any reason you wouldn't be able to make our 3 o'clock tomorrow? So you see what I'm doing? I'm making them say out loud any reason why they wouldn't be able to come. And in doing that, and they say, no reason why I couldn't come, people want to be consistent with what they say. Now that I've had the prospect say, no, I will come, there's no reason why I wouldn't, you increase your likelihood of a show as well. And this is where a triage, having your sales team trained properly on how to triage all those booked appointments, will increase your show rates, which increases your opportunities, obviously. Then let's talk about the reviews. You guys need to appoint someone on your team to go look at reviews every week. And on the platforms that allow you to respond, you do want to give a response. Hey, thanks for your inquiry, or thanks for your post. We did try to contact you. And so you want to have a public display of the rationale of your side of the story to this bad review. So that way people, when they're going through Yelp or going through Trustpilot or whatever, they see the bad review, but then they see the company's response and like, oh, well, that's fair. That makes sense. So you want to appoint someone in your business to cover those reviews every single week. And then you'd want to appoint the same person. So this is someone on customer success who can reach out to your client base whenever there's a win or a victory. So little micro wins inside your service and your delivery. When there's a micro win, you want a system in place where a person reaches out, asks for a referral in exchange for something. Okay, talking about lowering the sales resistance in the marketing process leading up. You want to make sure there's neutral language and like not sales language in your guys' marketing. So let's say your marketing video is, cool, so book an appointment. Book a call with our sales team. Our sales rep, see how much triggering I'm doing? Is gonna talk to you and decide which product and solution is best. So we're assuming we're gonna sell you. And then from there, we'll talk about the options of how you can proceed moving forward in business with us. Now, please don't book a call though if you're not serious about spending money and investing in this area. Do you see how the assumptive language and talking about sales, using words that are associated with sales, it starts to trigger people, and now they booked and it's like, well, I don't know if I want to come now. I don't want to be sold. So instead, the neutral language, the call to action would be like, awesome. So if you're curious if there might be any possible gap with you being able to, possibly grow your business, you can totally book a call if you'd like with our team. Now, we can't work with everybody, so no promises on anything, but what we can do is we can have a conversation, understand your business a bit more. And if we feel like there's any areas or opportunities that we see, then maybe at the end, we can talk possible next steps. So go ahead, you can book that brief chat now. So you see, you're using more neutral, non-sales language and terminology to help decrease the sales resistance. They are not gonna get sold. It's just a casual conversation. Improve the warm-up content. So after someone books a call, you should have a strong video that explains the next steps, and it gives additional value for the call, and it gives permission to the prospect that, hey, we might not be a fit. And that really lowers the sales resistance. And then your email text sequences should be social proof and testimonials, or links to your social accounts like your YouTube, your Instagram, so that way they can go consume your organic social media content and be like, oh, this is a legitimate company. They've been around a while. They post really good content. I like their personality, etc. And that really builds more trust where they're gonna increase the show rate. So I know this was comprehensive and there was a lot that we talked about and that we covered. But if this was useful, you can get a copy of this document at our site at thesalesmachine.net/free resources. And there might be a link in the description. But also, if you want access to other resources from our playbook that you can put in your business today to grow, make more sales, hire better people, and expand your impact, then check out that link as well. There's a bunch of videos and just a Rolodex of content from our playbook. If you like this and you got value from it, like, subscribe, hit the bell, and there might be a link here to another video if you want to continue the rabbit trail down finding other ways to move the needle and grow your business. Thanks.